everyone. This is Terri, and I'm back with pop-up interviews. It's been a long time since I've done a pop-up interview, and it's just because I've been quite a little busy person lately, but I really miss connecting with people, so I wanted to get back to this. So if this is the first time you've ever seen a pop-up video, you might be saying, what is this, like Pop-Tarts or something? It's like, no, it's not Pop-Tarts, but it's kind of the same line where I just randomly will connect with people and we'll talk books. And I never know when it's going to happen. I mean, yeah, I schedule it, but I mean, I never know for sure when I'm going to post them, and it's going to be random times, but it's just a chance that I get to talk to people that I might not otherwise get to talk to, because it's not like I can get in my car and drive all over the country and talk to people. And I really like the idea of connecting to other people and talking about books. Now, I'm really excited to have my guest here tonight because she is helping me ease back into the whole YouTube and video land. So I'm going to welcome Celeste. Celeste Straub is here with us tonight. Hi, Celeste.
Hi, Terri.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Tell me, I hope you're not where it's snowing and cold right now.
It is cold, but thankfully raining, and hopefully that doesn't turn into ice by tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here in the South, and it turned hot. I mean, my kids are walking around in shorts and t-shirts.
It hit 50, almost 60 the last 2 days, and I'm up here in northeastern Pennsylvania. So for February, that was fabulous.
I bet.
We were all like, woohoo! And now it's back to normal, cold, dreary, but it's not snowing, so I'll take that.
Yeah. Does it snow a lot in the wintertime up there?
Depends on the year. I couldn't tell you what the average is, but you expect to have a couple snowstorms. You get more than like a foot of snow at a time. That's like more of a rarity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, down here in the South where I am, the tiniest snowflake, and everybody freaks out.
Yeah.
And there's a run to the grocery store to get bread and milk and eggs and all the beer that they can possibly find. Does it happen up there, or are you guys kind of used to it?
It does. Everybody does the bread and milk and eggs run. We have beer stores that will deliver in snowstorms, so not such a big.
When you're over, you need to tell me exactly where you live, because I think I want to come check that out.
I live outside of a big college town with a big state university, so all of the beer stores deliver because, college kids.
God bless those college kids.
Yes. But yeah, no, everybody up here, you'll have that last minute crazy rush to the grocery store because we don't trust our weatherman. And when they tell us we might get 3 inches, we might end up with 13. We've learned to just be prepared.
Now, have you lived up there your whole life?
Yes, born and raised in this part of Pennsylvania.
Wow, that's actually kind of unusual. All people have moved so much.
Yeah, when I was younger, it was, I couldn't wait. I couldn't get out of here fast enough.
Yeah.
Went to college in a slightly bigger town. I called it a city. People from Philadelphia laugh at me when I call it a city because to them it's not a city. And I was like, you know what? Rural life is not so bad. Gunshots and police racing by at 2 a.m, higher crime rates than I was used to. I'm like, you know what? I'm not so eager to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I happened to meet my husband in college, he already had a good job at a large hospital system in the area. So I was like, you know what? Why uproot both of us? I'm like, I'm okay to find work around here.
Yeah.
So we stayed in the area.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you write?
So I write romantic suspense. Now,
can you explain real quick what romantic suspense means?
Yes. So romantic suspense means that there's a central romance plot line, but in going through that romance arc, there's usually some sort of mystery or adventure or suspense built in. So in my case, my main female character is a criminal profiler. So, on her romance journey, she's also gets sucked up into one of the cases that she's working on, and that's what gives the suspense and the mystery element of the romantic suspense.
Now, is a criminal profile, is that from your background, or did you have to? Is that just totally not in your field?
It is not in my professional field. My husband actually does criminal profiling as a hobby.
Okay.
With a few other gentlemen who are from various different educational backgrounds. So he was my main kind of source of information, him and Google.
God bless Google, right up there with college students.
Oh yes.
So your husband does it as a hobby. Is it like a club, or do they just randomly get together, or?
It's not a club. It's just he happened to meet a couple other gentlemen who enjoyed the psychological aspect of looking at serial killer cases, and just the challenge of trying to get into these people's heads, and then with the potential of helping police solve cold cases. So they'll actually sometimes make a profile based off kind of what they think might be helpful, and send it out to these police departments, in that something there is something someone else hasn't already thought of, and it could crack a cold case.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
It is. I can see why that's it can kind of be addictive. And then just he enjoys the mental challenge of trying to get into the head of somebody who can commit crimes like that.
Yeah. And what do you do in your spare time, or do you have any spare time?
Well, yeah, I have very little spare time. I work full time. I actually work as a grant writer for a nonprofit agency in my area. I started there as a case manager doing social work, working with people who are living with HIV.
Okay.
I've actually moved up in my career, and I'm actually now a grant writer and operations director for them. So that's my 9 to 5 job. And then I have a 4-year-old son who takes up a lot of my off time. And so when he goes to bed, I get a couple hours to myself to write and decompress after the day. And that's what writing is for me, is kind of my way to relax and get my stress out. And it's a hobby that is now translating into something that will hopefully become a career.
How many books do you have out?
I currently just have the one. I debuted in October.
Okay. And what's the name of that?
So that's Leather and Lies.
Okay. Leather and Lies.
Yep. So that's the romantic suspense. That's the first book in a series with my criminal profiling main character. And I'm currently working on the second book in that series, as well as a standalone romantic suspense novel that's completely unrelated.
Okay. So I want to go back to what you're doing with the grant writing stuff, but I want to go forward to another question. So just remind me if I forget. Okay. I told you guys, this is just all whatever comes out of here. It just is like, blah. Okay. So when you're writing a series, do you have like an overall idea for the story, or do you plan on each story just being completely standalone, or how are you working it?
In this case, like, there will be an overarching kind of romance arc across the series. And then the cases and whatnot that will become the mystery and suspense element will be completely separate, related things. But in my case, this series is going to follow the same 2 main characters.
Okay.
Instead of branching. I know some series, you'll be introduced to the best friend, and then the next book is her happily ever after. Or, but yeah, in this, I focus on the same characters in each book.
I tend to do that. I tend to have an ensemble cast in book one that you get introduced to. And then book 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, that will be somebody that was in that original cast. So
Yes.
So that's going to be good. I got to tell you though, sometimes I get bored writing about the same people. So if you're always going to write about the same 2 people, you think that'll happen?
It'll be a trilogy,
Okay.
for at least my main characters. And the side characters have already exerted their influence, and they have little backstories floating around my head that are just, waiting to come out. So yeah, I already have a couple, offshoots that will probably come out of the series based on some of the supporting characters.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's go back to what you're doing with the grant writing. You said you're working with patients who have HIV?
Correct.
Okay. A week ago or so, Fox did the live version of Rent.
Yes, they did.
And I was actually surprised. One of my children, who I didn't think liked musicals because she can't stand when I sing, she wanted to watch it. And so so we did. And we were able to have a really good conversation about what HIV is and how people were treated so differently when it first came out. And so my question for you is there still that stigma of that they're drastically a different person because they do have the HIV virus? Or have we come a long way?
Oh, we have absolutely come a long way. The stigma still exists, especially out in the more rural areas.
Okay.
When somebody is newly diagnosed, it depends on the person. I've seen people who kind of expected it. They knew what they, the lifestyle that they were engaging in had put them at risk. So it wasn't so much of a surprise. And then I've had other people, it was, completely out of the blue. And then they were still in like the 1990s mentality of this is a death sentence, I'm going to die. And then that's where case management comes into the picture, because nowadays the lifespan of someone with HIV can be just as long as someone without it, as long as they're taking proper medications. So we kind of step in to counsel them and educate them, and make them understand that with proper medical care, they'll, most likely live an average lifespan. Unfortunately, members of the general population don't always understand that, so you run into the stigma just from the community, they tell someone, who, doesn't react the way they would hope that they react. You still do see a lot of that stigma in the way other people who are not educated treat, these folks.
So do you work on educating the population, or is it just you work on with the patients?
My agency goes across the whole spectrum. So we have different departments. So I came out of the case management department, which worked directly with folks, who are living with HIV. But we have a department that is entirely devoted to, education and outreach to the community, training both professionals as well as just, regular lay people.
Mm-hmm.
We have an entire department that goes out and does field testing. You can actually now get a rapid HIV test that will give you a result in 1 minute.
Get out.
No, it's a little finger prick, a little drop of blood, and in a minute you'll have a preliminary result. So we have an entire department that goes out, to target populations who are at risk and offer that service.
I remember when I was in college and I got tested, I had to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah, it used to be that way not that long ago. When I started 6 years ago, it was 2 weeks. Your blood got sent out to the lab. You had to wait, come back 2 weeks to get your results. And now it's just, there's 1 minute rapid tests. If it comes back positive, we still have to send the blood out and wait that additional 2 weeks to confirm that, it wasn't a false positive. But yeah, you can have pretty accurate results in 1 minute.
Wow. Do you find that because you have worked so closely with people who are going through something very traumatic, when you were creating your characters in your book, did you have a real high level of empathy? Was it easy to connect to them?
Yes. And you kind of see my social work background come out in this book. Sky is my main character. She's the criminal profiler. The case she gets dragged into actually involves her cousin who has disappeared, and her cousin happens to have heroin addiction issues. So, she kind of gets dragged into this seedy underworld that revolves around, drug addiction. And so you actually see a lot of my social work background come out in the way, other people react to, my main character's cousin, in that, there's a lot of stigma around drug addiction. There's a lot of apathy regarding, why should we care about somebody who's disappeared, who had these issues. So yeah, you see that come out in my book a lot, in the way that the characters deal with that sort of issue.
Okay. So what made you decide to write a book?
Well, this is actually not my first novel. It just happens to be the first thing that I was able to get past the gatekeeper and get published. I've written fan fiction for years, going back.
Shows?
For
which shows?
Actually for books.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I should say actually both. When I was very, very young, like middle school, high school, I wrote Star Wars. Then I transitioned into Harry Potter. More recently, Janet Ivanovich's Stephanie Plum series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a very fun series. Especially for romance, someone who likes romance, because of the love triangle that goes on in that series. And then I tried, I wrote a young adult novel. It needs a lot of work. That was 5 or 6 years ago. So I can't really say what kind of kicked me into the romantic suspense realm, other than I remember standing in my kitchen cooking dinner and this idea just hit me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, my son at that point was 2 years old, so he's finally to that point where a little more independent. I could sit down and relax and get back to writing.
Now you mentioned Janet Ivanovich, and she has another series that I started, and I only got the first 2 books, kind of a paranormal series. Do you know?
The one with Izzy, yeah, the Izzy and Diesel series.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what she calls that series, the overarching name.
Wicked something? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's a good one, because that was actually a spin-off out of the Stephanie Plum books, because Diesel is a character who pops up on occasion in her Stephanie Plum series. But yeah, that was a fun series actually, which I in some fan groups online, and it seems like there's really no movement toward any future books in that series, which is disappointing.
So how many did she write?
For the Lizzie and Diesel, I think
yes.
it's 3 or 4.
Okay.
4 out of, because I think it's set up to be seven 7 books because they were looking for the stones associated with the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
So I think there's 3 or 4 of them out there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've read those.
I didn't realize they were that old. I thought they were kind of new. I just found like the first 2 books in the used bookstore, and I was like, oh, okay. So,
Yes. It's been like 4 or 5 years, I think, since she's put one out in the series. Yeah.
okay. So, who are your writing heroes?
Well, Janet Ivanovich is a big one. She, not that her books are, romance books, but there's enough romance in them that kind of sucked me into, the romance
Mm-hmm.
genre, and I started reading strictly romances. I've got to go back to J.K. Rowling just because that was, I think, the first writer who truly could draw me into a book series, make me appreciate reading and like the art of storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the 2 big, my big writers that I look up to.
Well, if you're a Harry Potter fan, I'll show you what shirt I have on. I don't know if you can.
Oh, Gryffindor!
Yeah.
I am a Slytherin.
One of my daughters is a Slytherin too. So
yeah, I'm not currently wearing anything, but yeah, I have a great Slytherin cardigan that I keep at work with a head girl badge on it.
mm-hmm.
Since I'm the operations director, so I walk around with my head girl badge. I get a kick out of it. I don't know if the other staff.
I'm sure you've seen the 2 Fantastic Beasts movies that came out.
I've seen the first one. I actually haven't had a chance to see the second one yet.
Oh, okay. What did you think of the first one?
I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. Like what I'd seen, like the intros on TV, I couldn't get a sense of what the movie was going to be about, so I actually just waited until it came out and got it from Redbox. But then I really enjoyed it, and I just don't think they sold it right. So I do. It's on my to-go watch list to go rent it and look at see the second one, because I know we get a little more into Grindelwald and Dumbledore's backstory and.
Mm-hmm. Well, I won't give you any spoilers because honestly, I think I need to see it again.
Okay.
Because it's this. I'm a Harry Potter fan, but I'm not as much as some people are, so I don't know all the twists and turns, and I don't remember them, and I don't spend time on Pottermore, and I'm not a very good Potterhead, I guess, but I do like the story, the whole overall story and stuff, and I do like the fact that my kids like it, I like it, it's something we can talk about.
Yeah.
But you may want to get the movie and like keep it for the weekend.
Oh, and watch it more than once.
So you can watch it more than once, because there were some things, and then I went and I read some stuff on the internet afterwards, and I was like, oh, that's what that means. Okay, I didn't get that. I was like way over here and I didn't understand any of that, but okay. And then after I read it, it made sense. So now I want to go back and see it again. So it's like, now I know what they're talking about.
Okay. So I'll have to get it for the whole weekend then.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I would totally, or get it like off of Amazon or something, so you have it for 48 hours. Yeah. What, if we're talking about Slytherin and Gryffindor and stuff like that, what Slytherin qualities do you think are your best qualities?
I can be kind of cunning when I need to be. I joke about being evil and the dark side and all that, because I wouldn't I would not have been a Death Eater or anything like that. But my sense of humor can go into very dark places. as well as the things that I like to write about. So I just always identified with the Slytherins, not because, you know, oh, they're evil or anything, but they were kind of like the looked down upon group.
They do get a bad rep.
They do get a bad rap. So I think part of that is just my intense desire to not always go with the popular crowd.
Okay.
So it's like Slytherin was like the anti-popular crowd. And yeah, that's just kind of my house that I stuck with. And then, you know, you take the quizzes at Pottermore and stuff, and I keep ending up in Slytherin. So I'm like, yeah, I made the right choice.
Yeah. Sometimes I've got this t-shirt primarily for my kids, because sometimes we'll all they're one of my family has their house t-shirt, and so we'll wear them out every once in a while like that. We're kind of we do some cosplay and stuff.
Okay.
So my kids, but it's like sometimes I feel when I wear this that people almost look down on me. And I'm like, wait, the Gryffindor, that's Harry Potter, we're the heroes, we're the good guys. So yeah, but I've got let's see, my husband's a Ravenclaw, my daughter's a Ravenclaw, my other one is a Slytherin, and then I am a Gryffindor. So
okay.
We're kind of all over the place.
Not everybody.
Now, we just went to Universal Studios in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been down there?
I just got to go for the first time in September of last year.
I was really impressed with the Harry Potter part.
I was. We went to Diagon Alley first, that side of the park. I got chosen to be the person who got their wand
Good for you. How cool.
Yeah, so I think I fulfilled like my biggest fan moment ever. That's now like ranked one of those like top experiences of my life, behind like the birth of my child and getting married. I got to, you know, pick my wand at all random.
You're like married, child, wand.
Yeah, it was great. And then of course I had to buy the wand. I mean, I think they saw just sucker written across you know, my forehead. So of course I had to buy the wand, and then, you know, my husband's watching me walk around Diagon Alley waving it at the different you know, stations to make stuff happen. And I'm not sure you could have found me at a happier place. Disney's great, but at that point in time, I'm like, Universal is the place to be, because I'm like, I'm at Hogwarts. This is great.
I had so much fun watching grown people dressed in their robes and little kids dressed in their robes, and in between people, older people, younger people, everybody dressed in robes or costumes or the scarves or something like that. It was just a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Now, did you like butterbeer?
I loved butterbeer. Now, I tried the frozen variety because 95 or 100 degrees the day we were there. And I didn't think I was going to like it at first, because I'm not a fan of like cream soda or anything like real sweet like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to come back to Florida just to get frozen butterbeer. I loved it.
We got just the regular one, and I liked it for like the first half of the glass.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was like so sweet. I didn't like it anymore. So
yeah, the frozen one was good, but it kind of more reminded me of like a milkshake. So yeah,
I could see that. Well, Celeste, why don't you tell people where they can find you online?
All right, so you can find me Facebook, if you just go for Celeste Straub author. I'm on Twitter under @cstraubauthor. My website is celestestraub.com. And you can find me under Celeste Straub on Instagram. Those are my 3 big social media things that I actually attempt to keep up with.
Okay. Well, I will also make sure and put all of those down in the description for the video too.
Okay.
So in case anybody doesn't feel like typing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
We've got so lazy.
I know. There's not a link to click.
I was this afternoon, I had a spreadsheet that I wanted to turn into a Word document, and I didn't want to retype it. Okay. So I had both windows open, and I would just click and drag across and drop it. I thought, this is bad. This is really bad. But it worked. And what's the name of your book again?
So it's called Leather and Lies.
And where can we find it?
So you can find it at pretty much anywhere that sells ebooks. So Amazon, Nook, Google Play has it, iBooks has it, Kobo, and you can get it in paperback through Barnes & Noble or Amazon.
Okay. But Amazon has the ebook too, right?
Yes. Yeah, Amazon has the Kindle, definitely.
Perfect. Well, Celeste, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me.
It was nice to talk with you and get back into the groove of talking to people again. And I just want to thank everybody for watching the video. If you are watching it and you've liked what you see, go ahead and push that little notification button, and you can get notifications anytime I post a video. Also, make sure you like it. And if you want to leave me a positive comment or say hi to Celeste, go ahead and leave those down in the comments below. And like I said, I will make sure and post all of her links as well as my links. If you're interested in doing your own pop-up video, it is free. Celeste, was it painful?
It was not painful at all. It was
right. So it's free and it's not painful. I mean, you can't get that anywhere. So you can go to my website, www.terriawilson.com, and there's a little thing at the top that says pop-up interviews, and you can just click on that and fill out the form, and we will schedule something and get it going. So I want to thank everybody and have a great night. Okay. So I will, when I post this, I will let you know. And I'll send you the link, and you can use it however you want to use it. It's up to you. You can add it to your marketing any way you want to.
Awesome.
The only thing that I ask is that when you do use it, if you can make sure and cite my name somewhere in the description so that people know, because I'm hoping that will lead them back to me and I can get more interviews and stuff. And if you know other authors, talk to them and let them know what I'm doing.
I will. I'm actually just joined our local Romance Writers of America chapter, so we'll let those folks know if they're looking for, a marketing opportunity, to give you a ring, so to speak. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you see a picture of me, or do you actually see me?
I see your name right now.
I don't know what happened. Anyways, all right. Well, thank you, and I will contact you when I get everything updated, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, good night.
Good night.